blown away.
Ouais.
This is how you keep it from talking.
Sashi Purki Jakshing Metov Dram Rira Lingshin Yende Gembari Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Jokun Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniryatayami Sangye Chidam Soki Chognamba Jamchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Daki Chunyen Gipe Sunamki Dola Benshir Sangye Chuparsho Sangye Chidam Sogi Chodnamla Jangchu Bardu Dakni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunamki Jola Benchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chidam Sogi Chodnamla Jamchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunamki Drola Benchir Sangye Druparsho.
Show.
Oh, I didn't know.
Good morning. Mr. Andrade, you want to read? We're going back a few lines.
Okay. Shenyang Tsenden Gitri Chichin.
Who does your clothes? Is it her?
I help, but he did.
Yeah. You can advise other people in this room. Should be business dress, okay? Business dress. Okay? Understand? Because we have DCI clients coming to observe. Like there's somebody coming from France and things like that. So I need to convince them they're business people. Okay. All right. Translate. Moreover,
we can prove this another way.
Take the smell.
The smell of sandalwood.
Sandalwood, good.
Bumba Yimba Lelopa Yimbarta.
Do you believe it or you don't believe it?
You believe it.
Is it the opposite of all that is not a coffee cup? Yimbatao.
Yimbarta.
Are you telling me it's the opposite of all that's not a coffee cup? Which means a coffee cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that?
Well, because Sugma Yimba Lelopa Yimbiachu.
Good. It is the opposite of all that's not physical. Which means it's physical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now we get to where we were. Kavake means, we said this is what you have to use on your wife.
She said.
Yeah, you already agreed to that.
The shoulder thing.
Yeah, you already said that was necessarily the case then. Anything that's the opposite of all that's not form, which is form, physical, must be all that's not, the opposite of all that's not a coffee cup. Which is to say, anything that's physical must be a coffee cup. Anything that's physical must be a coffee cup. Okay? And you're the one who said that. If you disagree, so you disagree that the smell of sandalwood is the opposite of all that's not physical. Okay? Yes, it is the opposite of all that's not physical because it's physical. Alright? Okay, I disagree that it's physical. Okay, then take the smell of sandalwood. It is too physical because it's the keche of ayatana of smell. How many ayatanas?
12.
12. What are they? I mean,
The sense and the thing it senses.
you can say that, yeah. The subject state of mind that experiences the physical world or the other world and objects. Okay, so they lump in the dhatus, in the kammas, 18 kammas, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Abhidharma, first chapter. 3 ways of dividing things.
Consciousness, the sense, and the object.
In general, 3 ways of dividing the world. The subject of the first chapter of the Abhidharma. Once they get through the name.
Changing, unchanging.
Really.
Yeah, I thought it was 12 ayatana.
3 ways to divide the world.
Oh.
5 heaps,
Oh, yeah.
12 ayatanas,
And
or
18
18 dhatus. Okay? The dhatus are clear because it's the 6 objects, the 6 senses, and the 6 consciousnesses. And then for ayatanas, you combine the consciousnesses and the senses. Then you get 12. Okay? So the 6 supports of awareness and the 6 kinds of awareness. Okay? Cool? Say yes.
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 Don't look stunned. Alright. Maybe we gotta take a day off already. Yeah. We had class till when? I don't know.
Thursday.
We had 12 hours of class today. 3 kg in nature because it's the ayatana, okay, which we call keche, which means I call it door of sense. What's it literally mean? Keche.
Like gives.
Fire. It's the
It's the che.
fire. Conflagrate.
Yeah, conflagration of arisal.
Alright.
So probably if you wanted to
Stop anyone
make
reading
sure
your
your
book.
book is out of print in your lifetime.
Like,
We were looking for the translation of Dongten Chemo, and we couldn't get it because it's out of print already. The guy's still alive. It's kind of an insult.
Wow.
He's not even that old. Not even that old. Shit.
He's not that old, yeah. So if that's what you want,
Yeah.
call it conflagration of
I
doors.
won't.
Okay. So our dinner. If you agree, Sendan can teach you to take the smell of sandalwood. It's not the opposite of all. It's not a coffee cup. Okay? You alright? You guys okay with that? When you just say opposite of all, it's not. Opposite of all, it's not. It just means the next thing you say. It is the next thing you say. Opposite of all, it's not a coffee cup. Opposite of all, it's not a coffee cup. Say it. Opposite of all that is not. Opposite of not. Me and my brothers had a band, and when I was in 6th grade, and the first hit we had was "It's Not Love,"
It's not.
and everybody was like, "It's not." We're like, "Okay, we'll change the name." Opposite of all, it's not. Coffee cup. Okay, get used to it. It should roll off your tongue. Bumba mayable lopa. Say mayable lopa. Opposite of all, it's not. Opposite of all, it's not. Bumba mayable lopa, man. So this is you just gotta see when they say, they don't say mayable lopa, they say yimble lopa. Which is the opposite.
It is.
Yeah, the opposite of all it is. And here you gotta be careful, right? Why?
It's not a coffee cup. It's everything that's not a coffee cup.
Right, good. So you gotta figure out a way to deal with that. That's your problem. Good luck. Okay, Madrubna, if you don't believe that it's the opposite of everything that's a coffee cup, let's take sandalwood again. By the way, why didn't he take sandalwood?
Oh, you took the smell because we're.
Yeah, the smell
we're
is
talking smell.
more precise.
Mhm.
Sandalwood could be a word. Okay. Yes, it is the opposite of all. It is a coffee cup because it's not a
Not a
coffee
coffee
cup.
cup.
I hope we get out of this pretty soon. I disagree that it's the opposite of all. It is a coffee cup. It's not a coffee cup. No, it's not a coffee cup. It's a smell. They never smell our coffee cups. It's not necessarily the case that if it's a smell, it's not a coffee cup. Well, that's what I would say. Then what's this say?
Doesn't.
I mean, it does mean
No.
that.
There's no one thing.
That is both.
Which is, yeah, that's a nice translation.
Lack of
There's no
average
one thing,
grasshoppers.
which is both a smell and a coffee cup. Luckily, we go on to a new subject. We killed that one. We beat that one to death. That's what they say. English idiom. It means you repeat something so much it gets like, no more. You beat the subject to death. It means it's enough. There's nothing more you can say about it.
And yet,
Kanchik nare.
right? And
So
then this
you just
whole-
have to get used to say yimble lopa.
Uh-oh.
The opposite.
Oh,
Opposite
here
of
we
all
go.
it is, the opposite of all it is. What's that make it?
You gotta count the amount of times, right?
So
The-
it's
double
it makes it
negative.
positive.
Yeah, it's a double negative.
It's
Double negative makes it the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. They just want you to start thinking in, emptiness terms. It's weird, you can say emptiness is the fact that things come from themselves and, come from seeds and anything that's not that. That people are okay with that. But if you say emptiness means that things are not coming, when you say not coming from seeds, then people blank out like, they go boom. Try it sometime in a class, Repeat not. And they just blank out. And the idea is that of this whole section is you learn to think that way. You learn to flip things. Okay. Whatever your wife says.
Oh, but so this is, but Yimbale Lopa is already a double flip, so now we have 4 flips?
No, Yimble Lopa is a single flip.
No, because it's the opposite of what
It's
it's
a
not.
mimba.
It's a double flip.
No, it's not. It's the opposite of what it is.
The opposite of
Oh.
It's the negation
It's
of
not
what
my
it
Yimbale, it's just
is. Yeah, it's
Ah.
Yimble.
both of them.
Yeah. It's a single flip.
Oh, Yimbale.
It's going
Oh,
from
is
coffee
the
cup.
opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's the opposite of the opposite, then it's a thing. Okay?
Right.
No problem.
Yeah, no
It's
problem.
gonna be a my
But it's just
Mayo and tea.
No problem.
I was thinking they'd make a band called Mayo and tea. Because mayo in English means mayonnaise.
mayo and tea.
Mayo and tea.
What was spelled in mayo?
What the second part be? I don't know.
Man,
Mayo and the tea.
Mayo and tea.
that'd be gross.
Oh, mayonnaise and tea.
Yeah.
Mayo and tea.
Mayo and
Mayo and tea.
Right, that would be on the first album cover.
We'll have to try it at the Thanksgiving party. So if something is the opposite of the opposite of it, of a working thing, it must be the opposite of a working thing, right?
Sounds about
So
Nope.
it's not a word.
By the way, we don't know what yet about Ngopo.
Not
We
sure I understand.
do. It's not going to be existing thing. It
It
never is
could
in this
be.
text.
It
But in the
wouldn't be
logic
in this
text,
text,
it's not,
yeah.
yeah.
But just remember it's Baba. It could be existing
Oh,
thing, it
yeah.
could be working thing,
Right.
different things.
There was a problem in the first.
Yeah. Let's see where he goes.
Alright.
So then you have to glance down and see if he mentions Stinginuk or not.
Mhm.
He does, I bet.
He does.
Namken Che Chen. Good. Let's consider omniscience. Lupoi. Sometimes I like to translate it as the knowing all things because the waiter test is about 25-75 on omniscience. Try it. What's the waiter test?
Ask the waiter.
Ask a waiter in any restaurant. This is the standard. Is your translation readable by a normal person? Then say, by the way, I'm from China. I don't know what's omniscience. Can you tell me what's omniscience? And then if they stare at you,
That'd be surprising if I'm
it's not a good word to use in your translation. That's the idea, but the standard of waiter knowledge is dropping all the time. It's true in America. The education is really bad right now. Okay, Namken Che Chen.
Let us, please.
No Puyimle Lo Puyimba Tao. Are you telling me it's the opposite of all that's a working thing? Because it is the opposite of all that's. It is the opposite of a working thing.
So it's
Right.
an object.
It would be a certain thing.
Yeah, which means it is a working thing. No, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. By the way, we're gonna have this question in. That's a common question.
Hmm.
You know, is omniscience changing or unchanging? We're gonna have that question today in the ASI class.
Right.
Okay. Like, does omniscience know all things? Is it omniscient?
Yes.
I see.
Then it can't be a tema. It can't be a pramana. After the first moment.
Chichir.
Oh.
Then it becomes a chishi.
What if it's fresh in the each
It's not fresh anymore.
Oh, wow.
What
Yeah.
if it's fresh? Oh, in that school.
Right.
Such a
It's not like your husband's fresh. I mean,
No, I think your question is still
Oh,
more
that's cool.
the husband's cool. Okay. Anyway. And isn't it unchanging?
Yeah, I think that's a better.
Because it's always seeing all things.
Well, that and it's part of a unit which has unchanging things in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's
Right.
the lower middle way, right?
I don't know.
But the one
It's too early to ask this question. Okay. Kebake, you said so. Maduna, if you don't agree, let's take omniscience. It is the opposite of all the opposite. It is the opposite of a working thing because it's a working thing. Okay? Just because it's the opposite of all it's a working thing doesn't mean it's a working thing. Yes, it does. The opposite of a working thing and the working thing are not.
Cool.
This is an expression for your
Yin kyep
dictionary. Yin kyep nyam. What's yin kyep nyam?
Equivalent test.
All that are equal, they're equally
Coexistent.
placed.
Oh, equally
They're
pervasive.
the same.
Yeah, in logic you can say
Sets.
equally pervasive or equal sets.
Yeah.
They cover the same things.
Yeah.
The word kyep means cover. Right? Kyep.
Equal set.
So that's an expression in logic. That means they equal the same set of things. Okay, you kept them. Saraduna, I agree that it's not a working thing. I'm Kim Chinchin. I'm sorry. I agree. I think it is the opposite of a working thing. And we say, no, it's not the opposite of a working thing. Why? Because it's the opposite of what's not a working thing. Okay? You okay with that?
Uh-huh.
What's the opposite of a working thing?
Not a
non-working.
My new computer. And what's the opposite of a working thing?
Work-
Everything that's
And my
not
old
your
computer. Okay. I disagree. Well, let's take omniscience. It is too the opposite of all that's not a working thing, because it's a working thing. If you disagree, let's take omniscience again. It is a working thing. Why does he say that? Bebshe Dumi, this is a nice reason that those of you who took DCS 7 will understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Pem, She, Demenduce. You have to go like that. Dem,
Then,
She, Demenduce
Demenduce.
symbol. Kanu Yileche.
Combination.
What's the what's Bem?
Matter.
Particulate matter.
Physical matter. She,
Consciousness.
knowing,
Knowing,
consciousness. And Demenduce?
Things which are neither
Neither.
physical nor mental,
But
but perform a function.
We can talk about this word, okay? We had it in the chart for DCI level 7.
Change it.
Things which
It was changing things. It had 3 categories: physical stuff, mental stuff, and then stuff between. And
You taught it in ACI too.
yeah.
two. Yeah.
Let's talk about this word because it's a little weird. I forget how you gloss this. Anyway, Duce is uncomfortable already. It should have been du bias, right? B-Y-A-S.
Oh,
because
job.
it does
Object.
What's the difference, Duce and Duce?
Did and does.
Yeah, done and does.
Yeah.
So duce, past tense, byas, would mean something which has been created by its causes and conditions. That's the definition of duce, byas, and it's a synonym for
Object?
mitapa.
Oh.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
duce. Okay, so it would be more comfortable if this had been byas, but it's not. Can we say that all duces are duces?
Cheese?
Che, when you have ed, you can give it a little bit of a geekish
Oh,
sound
okay.
just to distinguish it from duce. Duce.
Cheat.
Are they yin, kyap, yam?
Yes. Function. I mean, because duce is like an opal, right?
Hmm?
Oh, I guess that's the same question.
They're not in Jatnyam because Pem and She are included in Demenduce.
Are they, is du, apostrophe du, byas, yin, kyap, yam, with apostrophe du, byed?
My guess is yes.
Are all things which are created also creators?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Abhidharma people,
Not in
Stanley would say,
First instant.
well, let's take the last moment of your ignorance just before you see emptiness directly.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
it created by causes and conditions?
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does it create a next instant of the same state of mind?
No.
Not of the same state of mind. But does that mean it's not a creator on any level? I mean,
Of its same thing.
well, it's you could still argue that
It
the
still
near
creates.
lengthy view of the next
Yeah.
moment
It's
of
still-
mind.
it's still a
a
thing.
It's still a
But they never
mental
touch.
thing.
Yeah, nothing.
But it doesn't create anything at the same time.
Well, this is the
Still-
same type in the sense of being mental. It does.
Alright, then ignorance is the cause of wisdom.
There's no such thing as time.
Anyway,
Just because you say it's absurd doesn't mean like, well, so you're saying like baby dogs can come out of grown dogs. That's silly.
okay.
But they do.
Now, what's the den min mean?
Does not
Don't
hold.
hold it.
Not rely upon or not. No,
What's den?
foundation.
See?
Have doesn't
Den is
have.
possess.
Oh yeah, foundation.
Somehow, I don't remember, somehow one of them relates to physicality and one of them relates to mental. You know.
Touche.
Doesn't possess physicality and is not mental. I believe that's how they gloss it. Doesn't possess
Oh.
physicality and is not mental. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a factor which doesn't possess physicality and is not mental. So,
I could see.
okay. Any examples?
Seeds.
Yeah, seeds, mental seeds. Aren't they mental? They're mental seeds.
They don't know.
They don't
They're not
know.
aware.
Yeah,
No,
good.
yeah.
Okay, got that?
Unless you're.
Seeds in your mind are not, they're in the mind, but they're not mental. Even though mental seeds are not mental. Because they don't know anything. They're just a potential. They're like the possibility of the economy going down. It's not a thing yet, but it's a possibility. Okay, that's a seed. And then karmic seed is a possibility. Okay, it's not considered mental because it doesn't know anything. It doesn't have the capacity to sense. Okay, but it lives in the mind. Okay, all right.
Sure.
Other example?
Freedom.
Concept?
Yeah, ideas,
Concepts.
yeah.
Sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
And-
so the-
Even thought.
and consocks. Nick. Nick is in here. Nick's body is over the form. Nick's mind is mental, and then Nick is in here, changing, but not his body and not his mind. Okay. Anyway,
It's just sort of fourth heat.
he says this thing cannot have physicality.
What's the difference, or is there a difference between this and the fourth heat?
Oh, that's a good question.
Isn't the 14th?
Fourth heat can also include semchings.
Mental
Yeah.
factors.
All the semchings except for Sorwa and Dushi are in the fourth heat. Those are Shipa.
Okay.
That's one example.
But that tape is called DJ.
So anger is
Yeah,
annoying?
so it's not the same thing.
It's spelled the same though, right?
It is spelled the same. Yeah, factors. Okay.
So anger is annoying?
Anger knows. Yeah. If you didn't know, you couldn't be angry. If you can't see your husband, you can't be angry.
You'd be surprised.
It's considered a knowing thing. Yeah. Okay. Pepsi damages the Karu in nature. Karu means
One or one.
any one or more of these three things. Is there anything which is more than one of these things? Or are you going to get in trouble if you translated any one or more?
You're gonna get
There's
in
no
trouble.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Huh?
There isn't something that.
I don't believe there's anything in most schools that would be any two of these or any three of these.
Yeah.
So I think you better stick to
Anyone.
any one of those three.
Which you
Here
do.
it means it is some one of those three. Therefore it's a functioning thing. Okay, got it? Now he's presumably he's going to identify which of the three it is. Let's take omniscience. It is one of the three kinds of changing things because it's mind. Okay, nice. Yeah, and I've seen an attempted differentiation of Yi and Namshe and Shepa and Sem. It's in the first Dalai Lama's commentary on the Abhidhamma Kosha. He attempts to make a distinction between them, and it doesn't work. Okay, Manas, Chitta, and Vijnana. It doesn't work. Okay, it's hard to draw a difference between them. Okay, they have a slightly different flavors. Okay, Madhubna Namkin Chichen. I disagree. It's a kind of state of mind. It is too a state of mind because it's a pramana. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Oh shit.
So it must be sadhu.
Uh-huh.
And the second instant of it must be sadhu.
Yeah.
So it must not be considering something you considered before.
Like what you were saying.
Shichir.
That's not
Yeah.
right.
It's considering it freshly.
The mind perceiving is changing.
Maybe. Oh, so it changes.
Omniscience?
Not
That's
the
okay.
not the object, but the subject.
It's gotta change.
Yeah, so it's not omniscience in the second moment. Okay.
It's not
Madhubna.
omniscience because it changes.
If I'm a fish and I change and then I'm no longer a fish, right?
Oh, so nothing changes.
Madhubna.
Nothing exists long enough to be different.
Namkin Chichen. Madhubna Namkin Chichen. Semayin Tell or tell?
Tell?
Good. You're the only one who has good tells in this room. Excuse me, I gotta take a photo here. Pretty awesome.
Excuse me.
Should we open the window a little?
Pick the sky.
You do have a blind?
No, it has a certain taste to it.
Okay.
Semayin Bata. Namkin. Hey!
Oh, great.
Same.
Namkin Chichen.
Yeah.
Sema
Sema Yibata?
Yimbata.
Namkin.
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 Bummer.
You shouldn't talk like that because you shouldn't talk like that.
You shouldn't talk like that because you're you.
Come on. Where you come from, Debo? Shanya. Moreover, Dhamitapa Chichen. What's Dhamitapa?
So, yeah, the changing nature of sound. Where you say
Yeah, now
the fact
I
that- the fact that
challenge
sound
you
is
to
changing.
I challenge you to change it. Because the way you translate it would be Dhamitapa. Okay? Just think about it. We don't have to resolve it now. But it would have been Dhamitapa. And is that different
So the
from
fact that sound is changing.
Yeah, the fact that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more difficult. Okay, you got it? The difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The impermanence of sound, the changing nature of sound, and the fact that sound changes. Are they different?
Yeah.
Are they different?
Yeah. There's,
Are they different?
one is yeah.
The
Which and which?
unchanging nature of sound
The
and the
unchanging.
fact that sound is unchanging. Sorry, changing nature of sound and the fact that sound is changing. Are they the same thing?
No.
I don't know what the first one is.
The impermanence of
The
sound.
changing nature.
Sound
So
has an
sometimes
essence.
it's
Sound has an
self-existent
essence which
and
is
sometimes
changing.
The quality of sound that is changing.
Right.
Can you just say the impermanence
And the fact
of
that it's
sound?
changing.
Yeah.
Nah, they're the same.
You could
So-
say it could be self-existent.
Daimitapa is tapa.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one it seems like you're talking about the fact, and the other one it seems like you're talking about the actual change.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one is the fact that something is something. And
Yeah.
in this school, in some people would say that's unchanging.
In the school, qualities are unchanging also.
That's a long story. Lopa imle lopa imba. Ta. Hang on. Well, let's see where he goes. Lopa imle lopa imle lopa imle. It's the opposite of a working thing. Kabake. You agreed to it. Mantubna, Damitapachichin. Now we're about to see how he's going to talk about it. Now, he says it's the opposite of working thing, which would be a...
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the opposite of a working thing. Let's take the fact that sound is changing. No, it's not the opposite of working thing, because it's a working thing. So this author has said it's a working thing. The fact that sound is changing. This author says it's a working thing. He's talking about...
Oh, that doesn't even fit with the school at all, does it? I mean, generally,
Well,
fact would be considered a
Apparently it's an acceptable variation of this school.
made it to the
Okay.
fact is
Yeah, he said that. He just said that. Okay? I don't like it.
Yeah, it makes me
But he
not
just
want to
said it.
translate it as the fact.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me want to translate that differently.
Maybe. Let's see how he goes in the next few pages. Madhubna Danchachan. The fact that it is changing is too a working thing because it's a working thing.
Oh.
That's also, I'm not so sure about that. Tawadina,
Okay.
if you agree, let's take the fact that sound is changing. No, it's not the opposite of a thing, of a changing thing.
Is that
Of a working thing.
it is too not.
It is too
Because
not.
it's the opposite of not being a working thing. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Let's take dump. Oh yeah, okay, now I'll tell you where he went.
Sound which is changing.
Changing sound.
Changing sound.
Right.
Sound which
He's
is
going
changing.
there.
Yeah, that makes more
And you have to translate it as changing sound. Dummy
Don't
dummy.
we talk about? Okay.
Sound,
Yeah,
like sound which
yeah.
changes. Or sound
which is
changes.
just sound.
Yeah, you have to change it. You have to translate it here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't translate it here. So sometimes you figure out your translation, you work backwards from what he said. So if he's saying it has to be a functioning thing,
Mm-hmm.
he has to be talking about mitakbe da.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In English you can say book of red or red book.
Mm-hmm.
The adjective can be before, red book, or you can say book of red.
Yeah, book that's read.
Yeah, book of red means a book that's read. A red book. Book of red and red book are the same thing. In Tibetan, you can also do the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally, Dramitapa would mean sound is changing. Equational sentence, we talked about it before. You add you supply the is between the two things, okay? Or it can be red book, Dramitapa, changing sound. Changing sound, not the fact that sound is changing.
Right.
So I would translate it here.
Changing sound.
Yeah, sometimes when the adjective comes after the noun, book of red, you can say changing sound. Okay?
Okay.
And then you have to here, because he's claiming that it works, it does something. Okay?
It's pretty weird, isn't it? Because I mean, there is no sound that's.
Well, he's trying to point out that you can say book of red. He's trying to make this point. And hopefully later he'll have some facts that are unchanging.
Right.
Okay?
That'd be comfortable.
Yeah, that'd be more comfortable. Okay, but so you do have to translate it here as probably the way you did, which is changing sound. Which is actually normally mitak beit da, red book.
Okay.
Okay, but he's saying book of red, and he's trying to throw you off.
He's just teaching them Tibetan.
Because in Tibetan, that's the same way to say the book is red.
Mapoi.
Yeah, changing sounds.
Changing sound.
Right.
You can say changing sounds, that's okay. It is the opposite of all. It's not a working thing, because it is a working thing. Okay. Maybe he'll go there and explain why it's book of red. Okay. Madhugna, if you say it's not a working thing, let's take changing sound. Now we're going to call it changing sound. Okay, let's take changing sound. It is too a working thing, because it's... I'm going to translate... Yeah, okay, I like it. Active thing. Not bad.
No, it's from course 13.
Oh. Sometimes I think my older self was smarter. Yeah, you can't translate this as a thing which is neither mind nor matter, because...
It changed.
Well, that would include unchanging things.
Oh, right.
Space is also neither mind nor matter.
Right.
So you have to have some kind of adjective there which indicates that it's changing.
Changing thing, which
Or
is
functioning. And active's a good choice.
active thing.
Okay. Madhudman Dachichen. Kimitak. Now, the unchanging it. Okay? The unchanging it. Alright?
Changing.
Okay. The changing it. Demanducha yimbata. It is an active thing which is neither mind nor mental, because it's a working thing. What?
So would you translate the kya as it here?
Whoa,
Or would
that's
you
not
go
a
ahead
job.
and, like he did add in what it refers to?
Is that correct in using sound for kya here?
This one is a little uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah,
count.
for a couple of reasons.
Just because we'll take anger.
Yeah,
So it must be a demanduce.
right. That's what he's saying, which is wrong.
I hope it's not the case that for him, ideas are demanduces. It smells like it's going
I
later.
can see
I
it
don't know.
though.
But isn't that okay? Ideas
Yeah, that is-
should be a Demin DJ, right?
Wouldn't solve it, right? You still have the problem open.
Yeah, it's done.
For it to be a kyaba, the
Let's see
all
where he's
working
going.
things have to be.
Let's see where he's going.
He finishes off.
She had a good
Goes
question.
on to a
I think, as well.
Kachiganari
Would
after
you?
this.
I'm sorry.
What?
Before we move on, would you, in this kind of case, translate kya as the thing that it's referring to?
Oh,
It
yeah.
seems good, like just for the sake of clarity. I'm just curious, because of hypertexting.
I would say it. Yeah, I would say it's a working thing. The Q here means it. What's Q generally mean? You, but sometimes it means it. Third person pronoun instead of second person pronoun. Okay.
But it'd be no mortal sin to replace it with the article if that gives clarity.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't clarify, he goes on to another argument.
Mm-hmm. Didn't say it would be a noodle symbol.
This is really uncomfortable. Does it feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, it's wrong. I mean, that's
There's
not a
some
kya.
problem there,
That's not a kya.
just because it's a working thing.
Yeah. Not all working things are Denmenduji.
Right. Give me an example.
Ducks.
Ducks. Aren't ducks duches?
They're not Denmenduji.
Ducks?
Duche.
They're not
What
active
about the-
things which
well,
are
stuff-
neither
the concept,
physical
though.
nor
Yeah.
mental.
Person time. Konsak is Duche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
say.
because white
Coffee
horse. It's
cups
like white
then.
horse.
Okay.
Duck is
Dead
Duche.
ducks.
The color of a duck. The color of a
Well,
duck.
this is why you can.
Is there
You
any
say
way
the
to
idea
justify
sound?
what he said? I don't know.
Let's see what.
Come on, I don't. No, he doesn't help us, and then he just goes on.
Oh,
Cut chicken out right now.
that's confusing.
He bails out.
He probably just said it in such a way that it would sound like what the
Let's
other
check
person
the card.
was ridiculous.
Okay.
Because sounds a working thing. And then he just moved on.
Yeah. That's right. It's all about the attitude. Because
You
it
can-
sounds a working thing.
I wonder if we found the carving for mine.
Is what you have to. That's what it means. There's an implied.
Or ask somebody from Daebon.
Well, I was just
Seriously,
gonna say,
like,
so
how do you
commentary.
guys resolve this?
Uh-huh.
There is a
cool.
Gelong house of Daebon.
Okay.
And when we go to debate in the winter debates, we stay at the Gelong house in Daebon. We have a associate college in Daebon.
You used to pay their electricity.
Yeah, very expensive. So anyway, you can actually ask them, you know, and say, "How when you guys get to here, what does your teacher say?"
Let's see if I
You
can
know.
email.
Ask Lyndon if he has
That's a cool idea.
a friend at the Gelong house of Daebon,
I can like
because it's in Goma.
Mhm.
Cool.
It's in that college.
Cool.
What's
The
the
many
other
doors
college
of the
in
rice
Daebon?
miles.
Those sort of-
Los
Dribung Losaling. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's in Goma. I'm not sure.
Is there a difference in saying the sound and sound? Sound is to an active or the sound?
Yeah, I think sound
just-
could be taken as a word.
In that case, it. No.
Is there any way to justify this?
If
He was trying to prove it was unlawful, right? He was using Demenducci to prove it was unlawful. It's totally illegal.
Yeah.
It's not just wrong. The whole point was he was trying to prove it was unlawful. Then he said it's unlawful because it's a Demenducci. And now he just says it's a Demenducci because it's unlawful.
Yeah. It's tough. That's not good.
He went circular.
Yeah.
It's not only not true, but he went circular.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. I'm writing to the official.
This reminds me of graduate classes I used to take at Princeton, and I had no idea what was going on at all. And they would go deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'd just be sitting there like...
Adam, can you tell what
That's how I
folio it
feel.
is?
I
Right.
don't think he has
Oh.
folios on
He does have.
They might not have the
12
same...
Lit
They
out.
12
might not
B.
have the same...
Around 12B.
It's 12B.
Oh, it is 12B.
They might not have the same edition,
Oh, that's true.
but you can send them the scan.
Oh, that's true.
We
I sent you into the
No, I'm missing now.
Anyway, I said I would have a footnote that says, you know, we're not sure about, you know, we're checking the scan.
Yeah, because if we want to
That's the polite thing to say. You know, maybe somebody miscarved it. Hopefully. Okay. I would check 2 or 3 scans, which means all of you should have as many scans as you can for your text. Because maybe once a mistake gets into one, it gets repeated forever. Okay. All right, here we go. Kachignari. No me mayambale lopa yena, me pa mayambale lopa yimbikyapsena. Now, ngume is nasty. Okay? Ngume can mean non-existent,
Not
and it
functional.
can mean
non-thing.
unchanging. And whereas ngupo it's very quickly identifiable. Is he talking existing thing or is he talking functioning thing? Mume is much more nebulous. You never know what they're talking about until you read more. Okay. In Tibetan, it's non-thing. So are they talking about nothing, or are they talking about a thing which doesn't work as it's not a working thing? Okay. No thing.
He has defined.
Or
it
is it no thing or nothing? Okay, in English a difference, right? You probably struggled with it when you were learning English. No thing and nothing.
Apparently not.
You take the space out. I don't know, it's confusing.
He did define it in this text, though.
There is no thing I want from you. There's nothing I want from you. I mean, they're both English.
Or you could say, I want nothing from you, and that's entirely different.
I want no thing from you.
Yeah.
It is different. Anyway, same problem here. Mume. Okay, we don't know which one it is yet. Okay. Mume mayamale lopayina. If something is the opposite of all, it's not a no thing. Then it's the opposite of all that's non-existent.
Well, that helps us clarify it. It does.
Let's take
What about it?
existence. Are you telling me it's the opposite of all that's not non-existent? Which is non-existent, right? Because it's the opposite of all that's not a mume. Kabake, you agreed to it. Madurna, if you don't agree, take existence. It is the opposite of all that's not non-existent. Because it's nume. Yeah, so now you see it has to be, doesn't work. Okay?
What has no work?
You guys okay with that? Yeah. So it's no thing, not nothing. No working thing. No thing which does something. Okay? That's the meaning of Ngopo Mepa here. Okay? But they're both in Sanskrit, they're
Abhava.
Abhava or something. Okay. Alright. Madhumna, if you say it's not Ngume, Yupachechen. Yes, it is a thing which doesn't work. And here's the clarification. Here's the final clarification. It's Dunjin Nutong. What's
Void.
Dunjin Nutong?
Performs a function.
Anything that performs a function.
Yeah.
Dunjin Nutong?
It's empty of
void.
function.
Yeah, it's devoid of having a function.
Cool.
Like many government agencies.
Especially now.
No, those are Dunjin Minupa, not Dunjin Nutong. It's right because this applies to Mepa, not
Right.
an existing thing which changes.
They would also say those are Dunjin Nutong. They are devoid of any function.
Isn't he setting this up to refer to Mepa and not Mume?
You can say both. Mepa is also Dunjin Nutong.
Well, then he
Mepa
didn't
also
give us a
doesn't
good
have a
reason then.
function. Mepa also doesn't do anything. And government agents which exist that don't do anything. Not doing anything
Yeah.
covers things that don't exist and things which do exist but don't do anything.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Makyamna, just because it's devoid of doing anything
Okay.
doesn't
I
mean it's Mepa. Ngume. Dunjin Nutong, Ngume Kitsini Major. Come on. Dunjin Nutong is the definition of a non-functioning thing. Okay. Okay.
Let me fix that.
Yeah, you fixed that. That was nice. What did Adam do here that was cool?
Oh, yeah. Well, and then Toxo's reason or unchanging.
Yeah, it's Takmadrup, right? I disagree with the reason. But the carving it's not
Permanent.
unchanging.
Unchanging.
Unchanging. Okay.
Right.
I didn't even look at it. I don't think we have a carving. So
We must have
I haven't seen it.
It's a printed
It's a printed
one,
one, yeah.
It'd be great to find a carving.
I'll spend some time looking for.
Keep
this
trying to
stuff,
find
yeah.
the carving.
Mhm.
I don't trust any computerized stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does have those photo numbers, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We should add a question mark when we find it, right? So that you can look and make sure.
Say again?
Should have.
Because without a question mark, it'll just
Oh,
change.
some of them I'll just take it because I know it has to be that.
Talk about your.
Yeah.
But did you put
it's
this
kind
in,
of-
or-
It was.
I'm just saying that when
I don't
we
know
do
if he put it in or I put it in, but somebody put it in. It's
Okay,
correct.
so aside from like
Mm.
what happened around this, when we find something in our
Oh,
text,
when you find
we should
something,
put a question mark, right?
you can put % question mark.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's a word that should go into your idiom dictionary. What's sam mean generally?
Boundary?
Boundary. Yeah, like a samto is a
Boundary marker.
boundary marker. Okay. When we did retreat, we put up our samtos. So sam can mean the boundary of a retreat. But here it means at the point where you said makyap. Okay, so here it means at the point previously in the text. Okay, or situation? How do you say? Anyway, at that point in the text
Mm-hmm.
where you said makyap
Juncture.
above.
Junction.
If you said madru, then yepachechen. Let's take existence. Dunjin nitong yimbar.
No.
Good. You're like 100% today, but it never lasts.
It won't.
It's a changing thing.
It's a changing thing.
The opposite of the opposite.
Yes, it is devoid of performing any function. Because it doesn't perform a function. It's not something which performs a function. If you say it's not true that it's not something that performs a function, let's take existence. By the way, I can guess, I predict, he's going to go to the principle that
To exist, you have to perform a function?
he's about to prove that existence in general does not perform a function.
Existence.
Oh.
Oh,
so
yeah,
the
the-
omniscience has to be.
The set of
Yeah.
all things.
I predict he's going to go there, to that a priori, to that assumption in Tibetan
I like
logic,
that. April.
that if a set includes any unchanging thing, the set is
Mhm.
unchanging. Whereas to me, it feels more comfortable to say if there's a single, like if you have an organization, board of directors, and one person wants to vote no, or it gets, it's kind of like the no kind of. Anyway, here we
I
go.
thought you were going to go if there's one person who doesn't do anything.
Well, that's
the board
not,
still works.
yeah. Why does the whole board? That's also true.
They work
Tunjin
harder.
Nipa Mayambeta. No, it doesn't do anything. He goes a different way. He doesn't go the way I predicted. Rangi Drupe Ke Nipa Mayambecha. So for him, the definition of non-functioning is myth. What's that?
Doesn't bring about its own effect.
It doesn't have an effect. It doesn't create an effect. Okay? It doesn't recreate a consequence. It doesn't result in anything. Okay? Yupa never results in anything.
Is that what is he saying? All existing things, though? Or
Yeah, yeah, he's talking Yupa.
Yep.
And he says if you don't accept it, which you apparently don't, he says, Yupa does it. Then he says, okay, I'll prove it
all
to you.
existing things.
Rangadevu Ke Nipa Mayambeta. No, it's not capable of giving rise to an effect, okay? Because there's no effect. It doesn't have any effects.
So is it clear that when he says Yopa, he's talking about the collection of all existing?
It's not clear.
Existence.
It could be an existing.
Or an existing thing.
Yeah, only you can tell from context later.
Existing.
It could have been an existing
So
thing.
we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Well, he must be talking about Yupa in general.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If he says it doesn't create an effect, because Ja is Yupa.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Sound is an existing thing. So Yupa here doesn't mean an existing thing. It
I could
means
just-
existing things.
Can I say existence?
Existence.
You can say existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say existence, or you can say all existing things. Okay. Anyway, he jumped from where to where. Yupa doesn't have the capacity to create an effect because it doesn't have any effects. He just went there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully he's going to go a little farther. And if you don't agree that it has no effects, let's take existence. Okay. Yes, it's true that it has no effects because it's Dakpa.
Good.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's kind of he was trying to prove it wasn't a Mopo, and then he went to Dakpa. Thanks. I mean, it's technically true. It's not very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's unchanging. So what can we assume about anything that has an effect?
It's changing.
It must be changing. Okay. Anytime you have a baby, you change. That's the idea. Anytime you have a baby, you change. Okay. No, that's the concept. Anytime something creates something, it changes. The thing changes. Okay. Your Pachucha. Then somewhere up above, he said, it is the opposite of all that's not non-existence. Okay, somewhere up above, he proposed, is Yupa, is existence, the opposite of all that's not non-existence. And you should get used to the opposite of all that's not. The opposite of all that's not. Same thing as is.
Because it's 7:45, so that means it's time to start the next person.
All right, let's see if we're going to get any conclusion here. No, it's not the opposite of all that's not non-existence, because it's the opposite of all that is non-existence. Okay, you guys are really quiet this morning. I don't believe it. Madhumna Yupachinchin. If you don't agree, let's take existence. It is the opposite of all that is non-existence, because it's not non-existence.
Okay.
If you don't agree that it's not non-existence, let's take existence. It is too not non-existence, because it's not something that you can't see with pramana.
Because it's not. Say that again.
It's not
It's not something that cannot be perceived with the
He
pramana.
just did it again. He just
That's
reversed
not
it.
so bad.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not something which doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. I misread. You're right.
Yeah.
It's
So
easy.
he's about to say that something you can't perceive with pramana is the definition of.
Non-existent.
I hope that's where he's going.
Yeah.
Do you know your petition? Seme ma mikpa ma imbata.
Yeah.
No, it's not something you can't perceive, because it's something you can perceive.
Mm-hmm.
If you disagree, let's take existence. It is too something you can perceive, because it's the shelja of sema. And we'll stop there.
thing that is
But
known
let's
about.
talk about the word shell.
Okay.
Shell is a form of the verb njel.
Oh.
Okay. Jala njel. And there's two njels. Maunjel. Maunjala njel and aunjala njel. And they're both prenasal, so they're both nasty. Njel. Maunjel means to meet somebody. What's the colloquial? Tuk.
Oh, Tuk.
I met him. Tukchum. I met it. And it's reflexive, like in Russian you have ya moyus, moyusya, moyusya. Sia in Russian. It's reflexive. Tukchum, I met. It happened to me that I met him. So you have to say chum instead of song or something.
Oh, I see.
It has to be come back to you. Yeah, there's a thing. It's called reflexive. Things that are personal that you do to yourself. So okay, yeah. So anyway, that's Njel M. What's Chinjo?
To meet the Dharma to
Yeah,
get
it means to
acquainted
go
with
to,
the Dharma
go to a temple, and
Yeah.
it means meet the Dharma. It means to look at a temple.
Yeah.
It's called Chinjo. You don't say, did you look at the temple? You say, did you meet the Dharma? Okay. Now this Njel, Aunjel, means to estimate something.
Yeah.
Or to consider something. So what you do with a scale is called Njel. to judge the weight of something is called jal. Okay,
Mhm.
aunjal. And this is a form of that verb.
Okay.
So shalja is a synonym for shija.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shalja is a
Mhm.
synonym for shija. What's shija?
Noble thing.
Knowable thing. So this means considerable thing.
Considerable.
Something you can consider.
I use cognize, but I don't.
I would say consider, because it means to
Yeah.
weigh. Like weigh your options.
Which can be considered. through
Or,
active
yeah, I would
perception.
say something you can consider.
Has a similar flavor.
Okay, but you can also consider non-existence.
Mm-hmm.
We won't go there. Okay, so when you get to Shijuki Namsha,
Mm-hmm.
the outline of existence,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is coming later, they're gonna say Shelja is a synonym for Shija,
Okay.
which is a synonym for Yupa.
Uh-huh.
3 synonyms:
For existing
Shelja,
things.
Shija.
Yupa, Shidu.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Established.
Yeah.
Not Yupa.
Existing things.
That's just changing things.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Sashi Purgi Jushin Meto Tram Rira Lingshin Yende Genvagi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Yoku Namda Shingla Juparsho Inam Guru Ratna Mandala Gangya Tayami Di Ewo Kun Sunam Yeshe Zog Zog Shing Sunam Yeshe Le Jung Le Nambar Kun Yi Topar Sho.
Cool. He translated a lot. I assume we haven't reached what he didn't translate yet.